So how is New Hampshire's primary all set to impact the presidential race? Let's try and find out. And for that, let me introduce my guest today. I'm joined by Dustin Olson, who's a pollster at the American Pulse Research and Polling. Many thanks to you, Dustin, for joining in. Now, going by Donald Trump's clean sweep of the New Hampshire primary, what do you make of the results?
So, at this point, I would say that the race has been over for some time. When we asked us in a survey amongst all Americans, and then specifically amongst Republicans in the primaries across the country back in, I think it was November, 70% of Republicans believed that the nomination was effectively over and that Donald Trump had secured it. Now, I would say that his historic victory. I mean, there's no one who's gotten that high of a percentage or had gotten that large of a margin in the Iowa caucus was a pretty big deal. And Ron DeSantis, correctly saw that the math just wasn't there. And so it's going to be a question as to whether Nikki Haley wants to suffer a big defeat in South Carolina. We'll have the Nevada caucus as well as a non-binding primary in Nevada between New Hampshire and South Carolina. But for the most part, Donald Trump will win all the delegates in between. But the big primary will be in South Carolina. And right now, he's leading her even further than he is in New Hampshire and South Carolina. And can she withstand a loss in her home state as big as maybe what Ron DeSantis had in Iowa? So, it's a question if she wants to go all the way. Ted Cruz in 2016 went until I think May or so, and it's her prerogative to do so. But effectively, the nomination is over at this point.
All right. Dustin, also for a man called Trump 2.0 or even Trump without the baggage, what went wrong for Ron DeSantis and his connect with the American voters?
People have no, humility about it. It's amazing to people. So voters are just like, whoever the Republican's going to be, they're going to get beat up. And they didn't see that he was somebody who's going to be able to withstand that. That being said, I think he did a service to the country because he's part of this process. Vivek Ramaswamy as well, Nikki Haley also. But all of these candidates have been part of a process to give Republicans the ability to freely choose. It wasn't a coronation. That's not actually what's happening. People have actually been given a choice, and they're freely choosing Donald Trump. I think because they think he's the one who actually has the energy to actually take this on and actually be able to cause the change that they actually want to see. People are not happy right now. It's again one of the talking points that Nikki Haley says is the chaos, which is a true example of I would say cognitive dissonance.
Absolutely. We'll have to wait and watch how the other primaries go. But many thanks to you, Dustin Olson, for joining in on World 3.